Much. And joining us now on the phone from San Juan is attorney Jose Nolla. Jose, thank you very much for joining us. We're watching this from our television screens. You are there down there. Paint a picture about the situation. How dire is it?
Well, I can tell you that there's a tale of two Puerto Ricos right now. There's the San Juan and the cities, which are trying to recover without power, without water. And there's the tale of the Puerto Rico that's isolated, that there's some towns that have not been reached to yet because they have to clear up and they're remote. So rescue assistance is still needed and has not been swift and massive as needed at all. It's been over a week since the storm approached us and started pounding us. And, you know, in San Juan and in Puerto Rico in general, no water I cannot overstate how important that is. I haven't been able to clean up my house. I don't have water. I don't have power. The condo that I live in has limited diesel. We've been rationing the diesel for the emergency generator. There's so many buildings doing the same. My office building ran out of diesel as well. It went dark. All of the offices there are closed because of that. There's no water. There's no power. People cannot get gas. Gas lines from my friends and other family members, they've done 7-8 hours in line to get gas, and that's to get either $15 worth or $20 worth. Employees cannot fill up their gas tanks to get to work because the lines are too long, or because there's no supply.
It sounds like everything's at a standstill, even in the areas where the trees might have been cleared or the water has receded.
There are many challenges. This is a disaster of proportions that have not been experienced before by FEMA and by anyone. So, you know, as the mayor of San Juan said, she commends the people of FEMA for what they're trying to do, but this is definitely in another league. It's definitely of greater proportions, and lessons have to be learned of how to deal with huge amounts of population in a place where the infrastructure just fails. And now there's a logistics issue of delivering the supplies to people who need it, delivering fuel to workers. You know, even the curfew, it hinders the recovery.
It's not just it's not just the fuel, though, right, Jose? There's issues of clean drinking water as well. The Pentagon estimates that 40% of the country doesn't have access to clean drinking water. There are 3.5 million people there. That's more than 1 million folks who aren't drinking clean water.
That is correct, and bottled water is scarce as well. If you go to the supermarkets, you'll see people buying juices, all kinds of drinks, because there's no bottled water anymore. So there are places that there are a few supplies, and people are buying them. They're being rationed. For example, I went to a Costco yesterday, and they had 2 cases per family, and they were running out. So there are many challenges here. Diesel for hospitals as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's major. Yesterday I saw a tweet from a children's hospital, San Jorge Children's Hospital. They were saying we're almost out of diesel, and we have 85 children.
Wow.
In the hospital. We'll have to evacuate the children from their beds.
Jose,
and, so
that
it's
is
heartbreaking.
terrifying.
You know,
that is just
yes.
That's bone chilling.
And let me tell you something. We've seen many storms before, nothing like this one. And also, obviously, there was not enough preparation. The Puerto Rico National Guard has time and again stood up and helped the Puerto Rican people on neighboring islands. But to give you an example, in the 80s, they had 20 Huey helicopters.
Yeah.
Now they're dwindling in 6 Blackhawks for the whole island.
So you're saying that the government, the response isn't enough. The American government's response isn't serious enough at the moment.
Well, you know what they say about intentions. I think the intentions are there, but the amount of the damage and the collapse of logistics, the collapse of order, communications is so massive that more help, more to unload ships. Ships have been pouring in for several days now. Why are supplies not getting to the people who need it most? That's a big problem. Why aren't water supplies being distributed to people who don't have running water and drinking water at home? You know, these are serious issues, and they can be resolved with boots on the ground. Why hasn't commercial service been restored to full capacity? They could have had AWACS. They could have had military air traffic control. It's been a week.
Yeah.
You know, some things you understand because it's a crisis. Some things, you know, the nations have the resources. You just have to put the priorities there and act. And you know, and do whatever you have to do to get things done and get things started, because otherwise it's a death of a spiral death. You know, no power, no workers, no businesses open, hospitals failing.
The whole thing collapses.
Still being rescued. You know, it's chaotic. I've heard it described as apocalyptic, and you have to be here to understand how patient the people have been and understanding. But people are getting uneasy after a week. You know, you expect things to get better, and they're not.
Jose Nolla. Jose, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for bringing us there and telling us what's going on. It is a crisis in every sense of the word, no exaggeration necessary. We're going to be following all of this at MSNBC and at NBC Nightly News and the Today Show, so stick with NBC to figure out